Hey boo-boos! Today I want to talk about how women treat each other. How girls treat each other, how females treat each other, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so today I was praying about what I should talk about. And this has been on my heart before, but for whatever reason it came to me during my prayer time, and it was like a shot to my heart, because women are not very nice to each other. Girls are not very nice to each other. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and how I came to realize that my thought process was completely ridiculous. So when I was younger, teenager, I somewhere came up with it almost became like a mantra for life. Like, girls were bees, they are backstabby, they're catty, they're judgmental, and hanging out with boys is just so much easier, so I'm gonna do that. And so I did that. And that, that works for a spell, but the problem with hanging out with boys when you're a girl, and this doesn't happen all the time, is that the line between friendship gets a little blurred. There's a name for that. Friends with benefits. And so there was a lot of friends with benefits out there, and what I realized was I was completely discounting a whole gender. And now looking back as an adult, what I realize is society perpetuates this. I mean, if you really watch television programs and see what's happening, dudes aren't always fighting with each other or backstabbing, but it's happening with women. And, it's like, does art imitate life? Does life imitate art? Who knows? But I think it's this thing that is like this gross, perpetual cycle that happens. Even magazines. Or, reality TV where they're at each other's throat, and then they'll have a whole episode where they all confront each other. How is this empowering each other? How are we empowering each other as women? Now, how I realized that this was a ridiculous way of thinking was when crap hit the fan in my life a couple of years ago. I had a horrible breakup. It was the most heart-wrenching thing that has ever happened to me in my life. And you know who was there for me? Women. You know who was there helping me pick up the pieces? Women. Do you know who was coming over to my house and delivering lunch, dinner, ice cream, allowing me to cry in their lap? Women. It wasn't dudes. This whole idea that I had, that dudes are the ones that, they're just easier to get along with and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that might be true, but they are not our soulmates. They are not the ones that know how to help us pick up the pieces. They're not the ones who know what are going on in a woman's life. Now, I'm not discounting men, because I love men. Men are wonderful. I have a lot of really good men in my life who are brothers, who are friends, who have had my back, but they don't know how we feel. How could they? They have no idea. And sometimes, let's be honest, we don't really know how we're feeling either to even express it to them. But other women know. And they know what is going on in our hearts. So there's this thing called a generational curse. Now don't freak out, okay? I'm not talking like voodoo craziness. Let's get out the little doll with the pins. No. This is a really spiritual thing. Okay? So I'm going to give you a little bit of background. So a generational curse is kind of like this thing that we say over a certain situation for generations. Generational curse could be divorce in your family. Maybe you look back and you're like, wow, almost everyone's gotten a divorce. It could be drug addiction. It could be alcohol. It could be like a number of things. It could be just like a culture saying that they don't do a certain thing and it becomes like a curse over time. And so I think that a generational curse is that women are bees. Women are hoes. Women are sluts. Women are they're going to steal my boyfriend. Women are this. Women are that. Women can't be trusted. And it's totally a lie. And really, I think that if we were super honest with our hearts and our spirits, it would be because we are the most vulnerable with each other. We are the most vulnerable with what is really going on deep down. And when someone dishonors us, and when another woman betrays us, that hurts deeply. But we need to get into the habit of forgiving each other for these things. We need to get into the habit of not holding on to this hurt because we're pushing away everyone else and we're not allowing healing. And the trouble with just hanging out with guys, like I said before, is that we can fall into relationships with them that we're not really intending to do. I mean, maybe this is not your life. Maybe it is your life, where all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I did not mean to overstep that boundary with him. And it's because we're like sharing our heart with a guy instead of sharing our heart with another girl. Now, some of you are going to be like, nope, no, she crazy, guys are the best. Fine, guys are the best. But I would encourage you to set up good, healthy boundaries in that because, again, that line can get really blurry sometimes. But with other women, we instinctually know how each other are feeling. And so that's the relationship that I want to encourage. So what I want us to do is to think about what is our first thought when we think about women. Is it positive? Is it negative? Do we have some thoughts about disliking women just in general, like a blanket statement? Ask yourself where that came from. Maybe it was an experience. Maybe it was a betrayal. Maybe it was a broken friendship. But again, are we completely discounting a whole gender because one or two people may have hurt us? I know that I did. I know that I did that for years. And I did not have close friendships. And it was very lonely. I want to encourage each and every one of you to look around at the women in your life and really see how valuable they are. And really see that you are valuable too in their lives. We have to get into this habit of loving each other well. Of not allowing old thoughts or the past or a curse to hurt our present and our future. We have to forgive them. We have to lay it down. Once we do that, we will have freedom and we will have deeper relationships than we ever thought was even possible. So I hope you found value in this video. I hope that it really makes you think about the awesome women in your life. And that goes for your moms, your aunts, your sisters. These are all other women who have been put into your life for a reason. And if there are broken relationships with them, maybe this is the time to restore them. Maybe this is the time to speak love into their life. Because I think once we do, we really can change the world. Women are amazing. And we have such huge possibilities. But when we're at each other's throat, we're dividing a really powerful group, a really powerful nation, a really powerful community. And I, for one, I'm a little sick and tired of it. And so I practice this and I re-practice this, and I love speaking wisdom and life into other women, and I would encourage you to do that too. So I hope you liked this video. Like it, share it. Just talk to other women about how amazing they are in your life and look for other women to befriend. I promise you, you will be so happy and your heart will be so overjoyed at the new friendships and the new possibilities that you will have in your life. So, follow me, find me on Instagram, and I will see you next week.